Hello and good morning. At this point, we are going to do a small presentation for college admissions to help you get a better understanding of the process. I'm going to be here trying to explain as much as possible to our parents and our students to help them get through the college admissions process and the application process this fall. First thing I want to go over is there are a lot of decisions to be made. And what we have to do when we're trying to get through this process is go through certain factors that are going to influence your college choice. So, what are the factors that influence your college choice? One of the biggest factors that I see is where your school is going to be, what geographic location. There are some high school students that want to go 5 hours away. There are some that don't want to go more than 2 hours away. There are some that want to stay in state versus out of state. Also, the size of the school. Over here in Brentwood High School, there's 5,000 kids, 4 to 5,000 kids at the high school, 30 kids in a class. That's a medium-sized school, a small to medium-sized school. There are also schools that have a population as big as 20 to 30,000 students. That also affects class size. If you go to a small college, the class size might be 15, 20. If you go to a big college, your introductory courses like uh, intro to psych, freshman composition, you might be sitting in an auditorium under normal circumstances that have close to 200 to 300 people. Um, so to me, I think when you're making this decision, it is best to always try and do a college visit in person. Under the current pandemic and the restrictions with that, every school has a virtual tour. So, for instance, if you want to look at Stony Brook or Binghamton, you would go on their websites, and each one has a virtual tour to be able to see, so you could see on screen what the campus layout is, how many buildings they have, and they'll continue to give you details about class size and programs. Um, Also, cost. Uh, when every college has their price tag, private schools, range from anywhere from 30,000 to $80,000 a year. But please don't let cost, the actual price tag that you see, affect your decision. Everyone will apply for financial aid, and there are people who are under certain income at certain income levels that are going to get more financial aid in terms of need-based aid, how much money you need based on your income. There's also merit-based aid. That means merit-based aid is if you have a 90 average and you have good SAT or ACT scores, you may qualify for scholarship monies from that school. Um, Admissions. There are, as a guidance counselor, we like to have a certain approach to helping our students. We have um, some target schools, which are schools that might be within your range. For example, Stony Brook is looking for students who have 92 to 94 averages. If you have that kind of grade point average and you have AP courses, etc., Stony Brook may be a target school for you. If you have a 98 or a 99 average, a high average, that Stony Brook may indeed be a safe school for you. If you have an 87 average, Stony Brook would be what we call a reach school for you because you are just under the academic standards of what they're looking for. But what we try and do is we try and have a balance of schools. So we might say to a student, we're recommending that you have for your reach school, your dream school. We might recommend that you have 2 to 3 of those schools. Then the target schools, we might recommend that we have 5 schools within that range. Then the safe schools, we might recommend 2. So if you're going to apply to 10 to 12 schools, you have a nice little balance to make sure that at the end that you get admitted to a school. Now, factoring in the geographics, the size of the school, and the cost, that will help you determine the match and the program that you might be interested in. So um, those are the factors that really influence your choice. What goes into your admissions folder? Your admission folder is filled with certain things. The biggest thing that it's filled with is the application itself. So if you're applying to NYU, or you're applying to a state school like SUNY Buffalo, those applications are going to be found in the Common App. The Common App is a program that one application satisfies the application of about 300 schools throughout the country. But the application has to be filled out, and that has everything from personal information about you, your name, your address, what high school you go to, also your parents' information, but it also has the admissions folder also has standardized tests. It also has personal statements. It also has the letter of recommendation and your resume. And then included in that is your official transcript. So the college application, I mentioned the Common App. The Common App is the most popular way to apply to college because, like I said, it does satisfy 300. It satisfies all the SUNYs and many of the private schools throughout the country. There are several colleges, for example, like the University of Maryland at College Park, that has its own separate application. Then if you want to go to a school in the city, which is very popular, Baruch, CCNY, those are CUNY schools, CUNY. Also, if for whatever reason you're not sure about what you want to do, or there's a financial reason, or you just want to build your skills, that we have one of the best community colleges in the country around the corner with campuses at Ammerman, which is in Selden, Brentwood, and Riverhead. So Suffolk Community College is a wonderful option to start your first 2 years of college. And then there's also the SUNY schools, the State University of New York schools, which are Buffalo, Binghamton, Potsdam, Albany, etc. There's a good number of those that also have community colleges within them. One of the things that the colleges look at is a college entrance exam. There are 2 very popular ones right now. There are the SAT, which tests your reading, writing, and your math, and the ACT, which tests 5 parts: reading, writing, math, science, and social studies. So there's a little bit more balance there. If you feel like you're a more balanced person, you've kind of done well in school, but you struggle with the thought of taking an SAT, look into the ACT because that's equally popular, and admissions committees look at both tests when they're deciding on students. Test prep. How to prepare for those 2 tests are very, very important. We have contracts with Method Test Prep, which you can be found on the school website, and the Khan Academy. Another thing that colleges use to make their determination are letters of recommendation, which are very important. I will give you a reason why a letter of recommendation is important. If you have thousands of kids applying to schools with roughly the same grades, same grade point average, same types of courses, same SAT scores, what differentiates you? What makes you different? What makes you stand out is very important. And there's going to be 2 things that make you stand out. One is the letter of recommendation. And those are letters of recommendations from teachers And you can ask 3 teachers from your junior year or earlier. We like to stay within your 11th grade year, the most recent, because that really tells who you are. Um, and hopefully you, during your 11th grade year or 10th grade year, really connected with a teacher and they know who you are. They could speak positively about you. They know that you've contributed to class conversation and stimulated class conversation. So not only can they, they don't have to say that you got a 90 in the course or an 85 in the course, but they could say really wonderful things about you and what you did on a daily basis. Also, your resume and activity sheet, things that you've been involved in, whether in school or out of school. If you were involved in clubs, and I know that's not easy right now, given the certain conditions that we're in, but maybe you had a summer job, maybe you volunteered. Those things are what teachers should know so they can write those little things about you as well. And don't forget when you ask a teacher for a letter of recommendation, remember that teachers are very busy people. You don't want to ask a teacher and then unfortunately maybe they forget and they don't write it quick enough. A good way to get them to really to remind them is to send them a thank you note and say thank you in advance for agreeing to write my letter of recommendation. That really goes a long way. Your resume. Um, your resume is going to include extracurricular activities, for example, sports or clubs, um, and anything you've done between 9th and 12th grade. Your work experience. Do you have a job at the mall? Do you work at a restaurant on the weekends? Are you contributing to your family needs? Um, if you go to church, do you do community service work? Do you do volunteer work? Is there a special skill that you have? Um, maybe you're writing a program for somebody. Maybe you play guitar, whatever it may be. Everything should be included in that because colleges want to know, who they have on campus. What kind of person? Is this person a well-rounded person that can contribute to their college community? And lastly, any awards or honors that you've won between the grades of 9th and 12th grade. That includes honor roll, National Honor Society, uh, if you won a math award, if you were in Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, anything like that needs to be included in that resume. Your college essay is the other component of your application that really, really weighs a lot. This is where you get to tell your story. Uh, they want to get, the colleges want to have a deeper understanding of who you are as a person. Again, you can only tell so much from a transcript, what courses a person took, what grades they got in it. After that, people want to know, the admissions committee wants to know who you are as a person. Like I said, the letters of recommendation are important, but the college essay is your story. It's your personal story about you and what you've gone through, what you've experienced, what makes you stand out in the crowd. So that's very important. And on the Common App, for example, there are essays. There are about 6, 7 essays, which we'll get to in a little bit. But there's certain questions allow you to choose which essay is best for you. When you're approaching the essay part, think about the content. Think about what you're writing. Think about how it's organized. And also grammar is very important. This is where you should lean on your English teacher to review your essay. Maybe ask them, could you please take a look at this and let me know what you think? They can help you edit it. They can help you get your thoughts a little bit more organized and have it flow. And, once you do that, you're in a very, very good situation because, that's a big part of the application itself. Um, Portfolios. Portfolio is, for example, say you're applying to a music program or an art program. Portfolio is stuff that you've done, a collection of performances or a collection of artwork that you've done that you college program is looking for that. So, again, is mostly specific to schools of music or programs of music and art. So if you're involved in that, maybe you can speak with your music teacher and your art teacher to get some ideas. So you can present that with in your application. College interviews. I don't know how many college interviews are taking place face to face now, but with everyone having Zoom, you might get once you finish your application and the admissions committees are reviewing your application, it is a possibility that you might get contacted from them by them to discuss with them a little bit more about who you are. They might want to see or hear from you currently about, hey, how's your senior year going? Tell me exactly why university means that much to you. Tell me how you can contribute to the campus and the environment at this school. So if you do get contacted by an admissions rep about an interview, I think the best thing to do is to reach out to your guidance counselor or teacher right away and do a little practice one-on-one with a staff member here at school. You also want to review your resume and go back over exactly what you've done over the last 4 years so you can have a nice free-flowing conversation with your admissions rep. How you dress is important. You don't have to wear a suit, but you know what? A neat appearance, a business casual appearance is very important. Remember, with only a limited amount of spots for freshmen each year, they want to make the best possible choice that they can. So, it's time for you to sell yourself at that point. In the college admissions process, there in the application, there are questions about, excuse me one second, I'm sorry. 8001. In the college application, there is a section about EOP and HEOP. EOP is Educational Opportunity Program. And what happens with with that program, for example, is if you are a student whose family income is not very high, it's a low income, and you are a student, and I'll give you an example because I just got off the phone with the rep yesterday, with the admissions rep yesterday, Stony Brook, for example. I mentioned earlier in the presentation that Stony Brook looks for students with about an 82 average. However, when you're applying to Stony Brook, if you meet the income level that Stony Brook is looking for EOP, you should apply to the college, even if you have lower grades. Because if you meet the income level and you have lower grades, which is another piece of the criteria for EOP students, for example, if you have an 87 average, you may fit into the EOP program, the Educational Opportunity Program, and you might get accepted to Stony Brook in the EOP program. And what you would have to do, there are specific guidelines for that school, but you would have to probably begin your college experience in the summer before the fall that you get admitted. Now, so if you're a senior right now, you're going to be applying for fall 2021 admissions. But if you get accepted to EOP, there's usually a 6-week course, a 6-week, under normal circumstances, you would be on campus for 6 weeks learning and taking classes and getting really adjusted to school and understanding exactly what the demands for the school are. And they also give you additional help to help you get through your time at Stony Brook University or any other school that has EOP. Student athletes. If you feel that you are a Division I or a Division II athlete, it's a very important thing to if you're playing high school athletics, to speak with your high school coach and ask them, where do you see me playing? do you think I have a shot at playing Division I or Division II? There are three divisions in college athletics. There's Division I, which is athletic scholarships. There's Division II, which is also athletic scholarship, and there's Division III, which is not athletic scholarships, but also, is very competitive. But if you fall into that Division I or II range, you want to complete your NC eligibility process. You want to register for the NCAA eligibility for the clearinghouse. You want to begin the process, and you want to make sure that you qualify. And the best way to do that is to consult with your guidance counselor to be sure that you have met the requirements to play collegiate sports. So we're going to do, a quick rundown of what your responses are as a student during this process. You are going to register and take the SAT or ACT. Now, I just want to be very open about this part. There is, because of the current pandemic, there are many schools that are going to go test optional. And what that means is they're going to say, hey, maybe this person had a tough time registering for the test. Maybe they were not able to do it. Maybe their region in their country did not do it. Or maybe they were limited opportunities to do it. So they will consider your application test optional, which means they will not look at your SAT or ACT, and they will base their decision on your application, which includes your transcript, which tells them what courses you took, the grades that you got in them, your letters of recommendation, your resume, and your personal essay. Okay. Another student responsibility of yours is, once you decide that you want to apply and you've filled out the application, you want to submit a transcript request form to the guidance office. What that means is you're informing your guidance counselor that I have applied to the following schools, and these are my transcript request forms. And it's basically you're officially requesting to your guidance counselor that you need your transcript sent to school X, Y, and Z. Be aware of the application deadlines. For example, there are schools, if you're a competitive student and you want to apply early to schools, that's wonderful. But the last thing you want to do is apply late. So be aware of the application deadlines that each college has. We talked about the activity list and make sure that you fill that out thoroughly. One helpful hint about your resume and activity list: sometimes we forget some of the things that we've done over the last 4 years. And it is very important to, at this time, really kind of maybe lean on somebody at home, lean on a parent who, and sometimes they remember things that you possibly didn't. They say, oh, remember when you got that award in 10th grade? Or, remember when we did this weekend where we volunteered for this community group? So, try and bounce that off somebody so you don't leave anything incomplete. Asking for your teacher, asking your letters of recommendation from your teachers, do that as early as possible. You don't want to be waiting for a teacher recommendation because you asked late. The earlier that you ask, the quicker this process gets done. Again, we talked about the essay. Try and start it with bullet points. Pick your essay. It's hard to sit down and write an essay in one night. So, try and just see what essay fits best for you. Begin with some bullet points. Leave it alone for a day or two. Go back, try and expand on your bullet points and put things together. And then when you feel like you really started to write the essay, that's the time where you approach your English teacher to help you with the edit and the flow of it. And the SAT, if you did take an SAT or ACT, you want those tests sent directly from the College Board and the ACT themselves. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is Naviance. Now, Naviance is a program that works along with the Common App. And what you need to do is, first and foremost, you need to create a Common App account. You'll go to commonapp.org. So it's COMMONAPP.org. And you complete the school section of the application. You add at least one college to the college list. You read and sign the FERPA release. And then when you're done with that, you go into IANCE, all found on the school website. You click the colleges I'm applying to tab. You place the email address you put in the Common App and select the button link account. And then you go into, and then you link the two accounts. So you link the Common App and the Naviance account. And we have a YouTube clip at the bottom that walks you right through it. It really is such a thorough and such a detailed YouTube explanation about how to do that you should not have any problems whatsoever. If you do, we'll help you get through it. But the YouTube application, the YouTube video is one of the videos that schools across Long Island are using to help their students get through the application. You know, at this point right now, we did explain quite a bit about the application process, but you know, we are here to answer any questions that you have. You know, the guidance counselors, you can email them or you can connect with them through Teams. You know, if you feel like you've emailed them and it takes a couple days for them to get back to you, that's understandable. But also, you know, message them through Teams as well. So you know what, we get, as guidance counselors, we have a lot of things coming at us every day. We want to make sure that we're able to get to you as quickly as we can. But we have classes listed for every guidance counselor here at the school. And we'll be happy to get you through this process as painless as possible. We know it's a lot. We go through it every year, and it's the first time you as seniors or graduating juniors are going through it. But we believe that we can help you get through this and get to a college campus next fall. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask at this point. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful, you know, October. And again, we are here for you with whatever you need. If you need to reach out and ask questions, you know, by all means do it. And good luck with school and be as positive as you can be. Thank you.